213 Rock with Harrag Melodica on Vinyl Times Classic Rock Radio.
Hell yeah sur la Web Rock Station on Vinyl Times Classic Rock Radio en direct ce soir avec nous depuis Norvège, Mr. Toschie, le chanteur du groupe Audrey Horne. Hi Toschie, nice to meet you.
Hi my friend, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great, and you?
I'm good.
All right.
Happy.
Okay, so I'm very happy for talking to you on air tonight on 213 Rock with Rock Station, Vinyl Times Classic Rock Radio. As you know, we are located in Paris, France. Thank you very much for accepting my invitation. Cool. 4 ans après l'album Blackout, les Norvégiens vont sortir leur 7e album le 22 avril prochain, c'est-à-dire quoi, dans à peu près dans moins de 2 semaines. Devil's Bell, le nouvel album est composé de 9 titres vraiment entraînantes, et puis en même temps Audrey Horne est prêt à faire trembler les salles de concert du monde entier. So Toschie, I love the title of the band from your biography, from your label Napalm Records. They said something very special. Audrey Horne rings the Devil's Bell with a future Scandinavian hard rock classic.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what we try to do anyway, you know.
Effectivement, que sur la biographie envoyée de la part du label, Audrey Horne en fait donc se dirige tout droit vers le futur du Scandinavian hard rock classique avec ce nouvel album Devil's Bells. C'est juste un très gros disque en tout cas. So my very first feeling with the new album is the drum sound. The snare drums has a huge sound. About your new album, yes, because I thought it was Filthy Animal or Cozy Powell behind on the drums.
Yeah, you know, the record was produced by Arve, one of our guitar players.
Yes,
and of course our drummer is a huge fan of Cozy Powell, so I think he would be very flattered by hearing this. But when we decided to record this album, it was in the middle of a pandemic, and it wasn't easy to work with outside people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of why we decided to produce it ourselves. So when or we talked about it, and when Alba, our guitar player, said that, hey, I want to produce this, the rest of us were kind of like, are you sure? You know, it's he's very good and everything, but we have always used an outside producer in order to get a sort of a different perspective on things. But we said that we decided what the hell, let us give Arve the chance to produce this, and I think the way it turned out, I think it's one of our strongest productions ever. I think it sounds amazing. Arve did a truly brilliant job on this album.
Mm-hmm. Alors beaucoup de choses. La première, c'est dès l'écoute de cet album, tout de suite on tombe sur le son de batterie qui est énorme derrière, vraiment énorme. Ça rappelle pour vraiment les spécialistes, les Filthy Animal, le batteur de Motorhead, Cozy Powell aussi, qui a officié aussi de Rainbow, Whitesnake, Michael Schenker, etc. Donc il y a un gros son de batterie en même temps, et puis le batteur Kjetil Greve, il joue vraiment puissamment quoi, et puis avec beaucoup d'énergie. Et ce disque en même temps, donc il a été produit aussi par le guitariste, Arve Isdal notamment, et puis juste pour vous dire, et donc au départ ils étaient pas très certains. Il s'est dit, moi je sens ce disque, j'ai envie de le produire. Alors oui, il y a vraiment une énorme production quoi. And for this album, always my first feeling, Toschie, I wonder if you work with Mr. Martin Birch, the producer of you remember Deep Purple, of Rainbow, Whitesnake, Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath. Yeah, it's in fact the production brings back memories.
Yeah, I see why you say that, because I agree with you that the production has some resemblance to that. I think this album sounds very like huge, and like the drums sound very huge, and the guitars and everything. But it also has that sort of rawness to it. It's not too polished.
No.
Which is it's sort of the music we grew up listening to wasn't very polished. Like you said, like Iron Maiden, Deep Purple, these bands, they have a huge production, but it's not very polished. It's actually quite raw in its expression, and that was what we wanted, because I think a lot of music, when the production is too clean and it gets too perfect in a way, then it kind of loses some edge. And I think a lot of, especially modern metal, is too much produced in many ways. They lose some of that live feeling in the music. Martin Birch was really, really good at sort of capturing that sort of live essence of the band, but within a really huge and well produced sound, and that's what we sort of aim to do as well. And I think so I would agree with you on that. I see why you're saying that.
Ok, alors effectivement sur cet album, lorsque vous le découvrez, premier titre, deuxième titre, troisième titre, vous entendez la production, vous vous dites waouh, il y a une production énorme. Hein. Alors oui, pour les spécialistes aussi, ça rappelle Martin Birch dans le même esprit. Alors comme il le dit, effectivement, ça peut sonner effectivement comme à l'époque, mais ils ont une touche quand même très moderne. Hein, c'est vraiment très moderne chez Audrey Horne hein, dans cette production. Et oui, le guitariste a fait un boulot énorme en termes de prod. Et donc je vous le dis aussi, en même temps, c'est aussi c'est fabriqué maison. Quoi, hein. And this new album is 100% is 100% homemade because you're recording it yourselves. Yeah, you did it. As you said, it's 100% homemade.
Yeah, it is. You know, like always, we wrote everything ourselves, of course, but we produced it ourselves, and it was mixed by Harrag Melodica, who used keyboard in Audrey back in the day. So he's kind of the member that left the band, but we always keep pulling him back in for various reasons, whether that being keyboard or production or whatever. But also, like, I made the artwork for the album, and we've basically done most of the stuff for this album ourselves. It was about time. It was a perfect timing with the pandemic that made it, you know, harder, like I said, to work with outside people. So it was a good thing, and we were kind of a bit nervous that, you know, sometimes when you create something and do everything yourselves, then you can sort of be too close-minded on your own ideas. So it's always good to have a producer from outside or someone from the outside. It doesn't have to be a producer. You can have an engineer or whatever, but someone from the outside who can say, well, have you thought about doing this a different way, or maybe you should think like this? And so we were kind of worried that maybe it will be too Audrey Horne in a way, you know. But I think, you know, when we listened to it, you know, it was finished, we were very happy that we did it ourselves, because I think it turned out really well.
Effectivement, au mix, hein, ça a été réalisé par Herbrand Larsen, hein, qui a aussi officié aussi pour les connaisseurs de Slave. Il a bossé sur le mix de cet album, donc en fait, c'est vraiment 100% fait maison, hein, cet album. Il y a une production énorme, il y a une production très naturelle aussi. Ça a été fait durant la période de confinement, hein, donc ce mix. Ils ont énormément travaillé, et puis en même temps, comme il le dit, je crois que c'est le premier, hein, qui dit que ça s'était bien tombé. Ils ont eu 2 ans pour le faire, donc effectivement, ils ont eu ce temps-là, et le résultat, on est quand même à la hauteur, bien plus qu'à la hauteur. En tout cas, gros album, très gros album, quoi. And in fact, you record at home, as you said, with the stage conditions. That's why the production is so natural.
Yeah, I think so. We've always sort of been the kind of band that we're first of all a live band. And we always try to make albums that would sound good when you play it live too.
Yeah.
But not in the sense that we don't do things on the album that we can't do on stage, because some things is good for the album, but maybe it's hard to do it live. But then you just take out that element, because the song will still be the same, you know, if you take out this element. But we've always had this focus on trying to be as close to a live band on album as possible without losing the creativity to do things in studio that's hard to do live but sounds really, really good on an album, you know.
Effectivement que la prod elle est énorme sur cet album, et aussi très naturel, hein. Ils l'ont fait dans un esprit quand même de conditions de concert, hein. C'est vraiment live, c'est vraiment, ouais, c'est gros en tout cas. Je vous dis, hein, à l'écoute, ça s'entend tout de suite, quoi. Ça sonne, et puis c'est fort. Et comme je vous le dis tout à l'heure, il y a un son de batterie à peu près énorme, quoi. And your new songs will take a bigger dimension on stage in front of your fans.
Yeah, I think so. I think we've always kind of been the band that sounds good on an album, but people usually, when they come to see our show, they always say that we're more that they enjoy our music even more live than on vinyl or on an album.
Exactly.
But I think it's important to sort of not try to necessarily recreate what you did in studio when you play live, because they are in fact two very different situations. So when we do it live, we tend to focus more on energy and on interaction with the audience and on just having fun. So, whether you play perfect or if the sound isn't like it is on the album 100%, that doesn't matter at all. The focus is that this is a live situation, so you have to sort of make it the best possible live situation, best possible album situation.
Ouais, les nouveaux titres en concert, auront une autre dimension, bien évidemment. Alors c'est aussi la différence, bien évidemment, avec le vinyle, le CD, le MP3. Le vinyle, c'est là où il y a le meilleur son. C'est beaucoup plus large et beaucoup plus ample. Et c'est vraiment c'est les bonnes conditions, en tout cas, pour écouter de la bonne zik. Et donc oui, il a hâte aussi en même temps de repartir tout ça en tournée, quoi. And Ashes to Ashes is the track that opens the album. The guitar and the bass are heavy and very dark.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And I think Ashes to Ashes was a song that Thomas, one of the guitar players, came up with. And when he sort of presented the idea to me, the first thing he presented was the riff for the chorus. And I thought it sounded very Motley Crue-ish. So I was like, very like kind of a happy song. And then he changed some parts. And after a while, he sent it back to me. And I was like, fuck, it doesn't sound like that at all. It sounds like a way darker, heavier thing, which I love because I love Motley Crue, but I think we're not Motley Crue type of band in that sense, because, so it turned out way heavier and darker than what I thought it would be when I first heard the idea for it. So I was very happy when it sort of made a strong left turn and got very much darker. It's one of my favorite tracks on the album.
Et oui, alors Ashes to Ashes, lorsque l'idée est arrivée de la part de leur guitariste, il a proposé à Toschie le riff de guitare. Au départ, il l'a trouvé un peu Motley Crue. Il a dit un peu happy guitare. Il a dit non, on va quand même le rendre un peu plus sombre, un peu plus dark notamment. Et puis donc au fur et à mesure du travail, il a trouvé son truc. Finalement, Ashes to Ashes, c'est un de ses titres favoris. And what about your very charismatic and energetic voice comes in on these songs?
Yeah, I think I enjoyed singing it a lot. It's sort of a song where I could, when I wrote the lyrics, I sort of tried to personate many of the darker sides of human nature, stuff like anger, violence, jealousy, hatred. So I sort of tried to sort of picture myself as I am these feelings. So it was kind of fun to sing it because you could sort of almost make a character out of I could almost make a character out of myself when I sang it. And I think it's going to be a song that's going to be extremely fun to play live.
Ouais, et sur le titre, toujours Ashes to Ashes, arrive la voix très charismatique et et très énergétique, donc de Toschie en même temps. Et puis, comme il dit, il utilise beaucoup de sentiments, ce qui donne une variation. Il peut y avoir de la jalousie, il peut y avoir de la haine, il y avoir du rock. Enfin, il y a beaucoup de choses, en tout cas, dans sa voix, et il arrive à la moduler, quoi. And I love the track Breakout. Oh yeah, Breakout is awesome. Yeah, the guitar players are great on it.
Yeah, it has a very Oliver wrote that song. And when he sent it to me, I like the first time I heard that guitar riff, I was like, "Fuck yeah, this is what a hard rock riff should sound like." It's got a certain Randy Rhoads attitude to it.
Yeah, and Kjetil too. Yes, totally agree.
Yeah, also that. And I think when we wrote it, we wrote the verse, which is basically the guitar riff with vocals on it, and then we tried to make some like different choruses on it, but in the end we were like, a lot of the songs that we love are songs that have where the guitar riff on the verse and the guitar riff on the chorus is the same. You just change the vocals and you change maybe the drums, how the drummer plays and stuff like that. So you change the things around it, but the guitar riff remains the same. And I think that was sort of what made the song really fun was the fact that it's actually quite, easy in that sense. It's a guitar riff that goes in the verse and then just comes back and then it's the chorus. You like I said, you change the way you sing. And then, of course, when I made vocal lines, Arve was like, keep it fucking simple, he kept telling me. So I started singing Breakout, and then I had some other lines, and he was like, no, Breakout is enough. Just sing Breakout. You don't have to sing anything else. It needs to be, this song has to be like straight to the point, you know. And so when we were finished with it, I love it. And I love the guitar, the melody guitars towards the end, which is Arve's brilliant mind who created that. So I agree with you. I think it's a great song.
Ouais, c'est un super titre, un Breakout, et puis le riff est tué directement, and the riff kills directly, hein, avec les guitaristes notamment Arve, Isdal et puis Thomas Tofthagen, ils tuent quoi. Le titre, je vous dis, lorsque l'album sortira dans moins de 2 semaines, on vous proposera le titre, vous verrez, c'est dans l'esprit effectivement Randy Rhoads guitare, c'est l'esprit aussi Kjetil, c'est vraiment très beau, c'est très très bon quoi. And Return to the Greve Valley is an instrumental track. It sounds 70s, 80s sound. It doesn't exist anymore. Are you still the only ones?
What, are we still the only ones?
The instrumental track, that kind of 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's excellent. Yes, it's very excellent instrumental. Yeah, I found some great memories on it. Some flashback some flashback came on my mind.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Yeah, I think it was when they wrote the instrumental song, they sent it to me and asked me to do some vocals on it. And I listened to it and I was like, no, let's just keep this instrumental because it sounds so fucking good, you know.
Okay.
You know, they had thought the same. So they were like, yeah, okay, let's try to continue writing it. And I think as an instrumental song, it's great because it's not like some instrumental songs where it's just one guitar solo that goes on forever. This song it changes, the riff changes all the time, it changes atmosphere, it changes tempo. So I think it's sort of a song that like every time you sort of get used to something new comes out. And I think it's a great song, and I think it was, and also it felt right to put an instrumental song on this album. I don't know why, but it just felt right.
Ouais, comme il l'a senti, hein, Return to the Grave Valley lorsqu'il arrivait au départ, il a senti que ce titre serait instrumental en fait. Les autres lui ont demandé de poser la voix, il a dit non, je pense en termes d'instrumental, il sera parfait quoi. Hein, et ça sonne vraiment 70-80. Et je lui ai posé la question effectivement s'ils étaient les derniers à faire ce genre d'instrumental. Ça n'existe plus aujourd'hui. Hein, c'est devenu très très rare quoi. Et c'est vraiment excellent. Et ça, il y a beaucoup de flashbacks hein, à l'écoute de ce titre en tout cas. En direct ce soir sur 213 Rock, Vinny Times, Classic Rock Radio, Toschie, Audrey, Horne, le nouvel album. Hein, donc je rappelle qu'il s'intitulera Devil's Bell sur 213 Rock, Vinny Times, The Classic Rock Radio. Ashes to Ashes, ça c'est le titre qui ouvre l'album. Ensuite donc dans le track listing vous aurez Animal, Breakout, Return to the Grave Valley, Danse Macabre, Devil's Bell, All Is Lost, Toxic Twins, and From Darkness. Ça c'est le track listing en tout cas de ce nouvel album qui sortira donc dans moins de 10 jours sur 213 Rock, Vinny Times, le Classic Rock Radio en direct ce soir, je répète, Toschie. So you have released 2 music videos available on YouTube. The first one was Devil's Bells, released on February 15. And I was a bit freaked out by the clip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you are not afraid of anything.
Oh, no. I'm not afraid of a goddamn thing. No, we have made 3 videos for this.
Okay.
This one is yet to be released. I think it's out week or something, and we're all made by the same guy. It's a guy called Francisco Munoz.
Yes,
who's made videos for ABBA,
yes,
from Imo, and for a bunch of other Norwegian artists. He's a great guy. He's very artistic, so he has his own ideas about things and how things should work. So we basically just let him do what he wanted to do, and we just trusted him and said, okay, you have ideas, let's do it, you know. Whether we normally have a lot more control sort of on the videos and have a saying in that, but this time we sort of said like, okay, you've done some amazing stuff before, so just do stuff you feel like, you know. And the third one that's out next week, I think.
Next week? Okay.
Yeah, next week. And that's an even more strange video, to put it that way.
Okay. Ok, alors oui, il y a une vidéo donc déjà qui est sortie, Devil's Bells, donc réalisée le 15 février dernier, un peu flippante quand même, et qui a été réalisée par Francisco Munoz, qui travaille aussi avec Abbas, et en même temps il y a Danse Macabre qui a été réalisé le 22 mars, donc qui est sorti. And what about the Danse Macabre? Because the feedback from your fans is excellent. One of your fans said another masterpiece is coming. Can't wait the day, the release date. Another one said, great song, can't wait to hear the new album when it comes out. Excellent feedback from your fans, I think.
Yeah, we've had really a lot of good feedbacks on the two first songs that we've released. So, and I think the rest, they're not going to be, if they like that, they're not going to be disappointed with the rest of the album either, because I think it's we made an album that sort of has very much the same focus throughout it. So if you like the two first singles, then, like I said, you're gonna like the rest of the album, I guess.
Of course.
And of course, to us, it's very pleasing to see that people like our music, of course, because every time you release an album, you're kind of scared that people are not gonna like it, because we make music for ourselves first and foremost, but it's always nice when people like it, of course. So if no one likes our music, then we can't make albums, because then our albums won't sell at all. So I'm very happy that we had so much good feedback already on this.
Oui, alors effectivement que les feedbacks sur le clip vidéo Danse Macabre réalisé le 22 mars dernier sont excellents. Les fans ont laissé beaucoup de messages très très positifs. En même temps, autre information aussi, dans 2 semaines il y a un nouveau clip qui va débarquer, très exactement quasiment à la sortie de l'album. Et puis en même temps, donc si vous avez aimé ces 2 singles là, vous aimerez aussi le reste de l'album. Je vous le dis, l'album il tue totalement quoi. Il est vraiment très très bon. I said the new album is pretty cool quoi, very cool music. Yes, very cool music with a huge sound. Oh yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. One very difficult questions. How many times did you play at the Hellfest?
We played Hellfest 3 times.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
3 times.
Yeah, it's bringing back to you some good memories, I think.
It does. It's one of our favorite festivals by far. It's such an amazing, fun festival. So we, of course, hope to be able to go back and play there a 4th time, because that would be amazing. And I think also Hellfest kind of helped us a lot in France. And I was kind of surprised how huge an impact playing on that festival had on sort of success in France, because before we played Hellfest, we had, of course, people in France who were into our music. But after we played Hellfest, especially the second time, we noticed a lot more interest in France for our music. So we love the festival, but we also owe a lot to the festival. That festival did a lot for us as a band in France.
Oui, le Hellfest, 3 prestations, donc durant ces années que le Audrey Horne a joué là-bas, donc du côté de Clisson. Et puis en même temps, il y aura très certainement aussi une 4e représentation qui devrait arriver dans les années à venir. En tout cas, génial. Et puis en même temps, il est aussi surpris par l'impact qu'a le Hellfest en France, et aussi l'impact que le Hellfest a eu pour son groupe, notamment depuis la 2e édition, où ils ont eu effectivement beaucoup de messages, beaucoup de reconnaissance, et ça c'est très important quoi. And when you will be back in France, not at the Hellfest, maybe in Paris, Marseille, Lien, all that towns, all that cities.
Yeah, I don't know when we will be back, because things have been a bit difficult because of course, the pandemic thing.
Yes.
So working on putting on shows in Europe in general now. So hopefully we can release tour dates pretty soon, but I can't say right now when we are coming back, but we are definitely, of course, coming back, and we'll play a lot in France, in all of these cities you mentioned, because we played there many times before, and And France is always very good to us, especially Paris. Paris is probably one of our favorite cities to play. And I'm not saying this because you are in Paris, but I'm saying this because honestly, there's like the sing along and the enthusiasm we get in Paris is quite amazing. So when we did we recorded a live album called Waiting for the Night, which was recorded in Norway, but that was basically due to some production things that we had to do it there. But we wanted to record that album in Paris because, like, audience-wise, we were good at the audience there is way better than the audience in Norway. So the album would have sounded better audience-wise if we actually had recorded it in Paris.
Eh oui, sa passion pour Paris en tout cas, il adore et puis venir jouer à Paris, c'est aussi un de ses endroits préférés, hein. Et il adore aussi l'enthousiasme des fans en concert, ça c'est vraiment important. Et puis en même temps, ils ont enregistré un live donc aussi. Et puis le Waiting for the Night, le son et tout est bon quoi. C'est ça, voilà. C'est tout simplement ce qu'il pense aussi de Paris. Donc il a hâte de venir jouer. So Toschie, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for the live interview. Do you have a message for the audience tonight, please?
Well, thank you for having me on your show. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And my message to them is basically that hopefully people will pick up our album or at least listen to it. And I hope a lot of people like it. And if they do, we will of course come and play in Paris. And please invite us back to Hellfest. We would love to come back to Hellfest. Please, please, please.
L'album Devil's Bells sera disponible aussi en vinyle, très joli en vinyle, bien noir, Svart, comme ils disent chez eux. Et puis il y aura aussi un digipack qui sera disponible. Donc ce 22 avril avec les clips vidéo. Il y a donc un troisième clip vidéo qui devrait arriver un petit peu avant la sortie de l'album sur 213 Rock Vinyl Times, The Classic Rock Radio, Audrey Horne. Tout de suite, on termine la soirée avec le single Devil's Bells sur 213 Rock Vinyl Times, le Classic Rock Radio. Hell yeah, sur la Web Rock Station, on Vinyl Times, the Classic Rock Radio, en direct ce soir sur le 113 Rock, Vinyl Times Classic Rock Radio. Vous l'avez entendu, Toschie, le chanteur du groupe, Audrey, Horne, 30 minutes d'interview, c'était absolument fantastique. Le mec, il a donné énormément de détails, vraiment bien sympa. Et puis en même temps, le nouvel album, je vous le dis, il tue vraiment. Et vous l'avez entendu, il a dit, si vous avez aimé les 2 singles, vous aimerez forcément, en tout cas, le nouvel album. Voilà, c'est terminé pour ce soir. Le podcast sera disponible très certainement ce week-end, juste le temps de l'éditer. Merci encore de nous avoir suivis. Demain soir, on sera un groupe avec un peu plus moderne qui s'intitule Monuments. Demain soir sur le 113 Rock, Vinyl Times, le Classic Rock Radio.